David was very happy to be part of his local church children's department. Every Sunday, he and his friends gathered to sing, pray, and learn new things. One day after church, their teacher, Auntie Grace, called all the children and their teachers for a meeting. "I have good news," Auntie Grace said with a big smile. "This year, we are going to celebrate Children's Day in a very special way." All the children cheered loudly. "Yay!" David shouted. He loved Children's Day because it was always fun. But Auntie Grace raised her hand. "Wait. This year will be different. We want to make it a day to remember, not just for you, but also for your parents." The children looked at each other. "What do you mean?" David asked. "We are going to prepare something beautiful. We will sing songs, make special gifts, and even learn new things to show your parents how much you love them," Auntie Grace explained. The teachers sat down and talked about many ideas. They wanted the children to learn things that were fun and useful too. "Let's teach them some nice songs," said Uncle Tund, one of the teachers. "Yes, and maybe they can write thank-you notes to their parents," added Auntie Beezy. "What about gift wrapping?" "That will be exciting," said another teacher. "We should also teach them how to manage their feelings," Auntie Grace added. "It is good for them to know how to stay calm and happy." All the teachers agreed. The plan was set. Every Sunday, the children would learn something new until the big day. David could not wait to start. On the way home, he told his mom all about it. "Mummy, we are going to have the best Children's Day ever," he said happily. His mom smiled and hugged him. "I am so proud of you, David. I can't wait to see what you and your friends will do." David lay on his bed that night, thinking about all the fun things they were going to do. He knew it would be hard work, but he was ready. He wanted to make his parents proud and make the day very special. And so, the children's department of the church began their journey to prepare for a wonderful day, a day full of love, fun, and surprises. The next Sunday, all the children gathered early at church. Everyone was excited to start learning the new songs for Children's Day. David sat with his best friend, Chitty, waiting for Auntie Grace to begin. "Good morning, children." Auntie Grace greeted them. "Today we will start with songs. Singing is a beautiful way to praise God and also to make your parents happy." She brought out a book with song lyrics. "We will learn 2 songs. The first one is a song to thank God, and the second one is a song to thank your parents." The children clapped happily. Auntie Grace taught them the first song. She sang the lines slowly, and the children repeated after her. The song was simple and sweet. "Thank you, Lord, for all you do. We lift our hearts in praise to you. For love and care and every day. Thank you, Lord, in every way." David liked the song. It made him feel peaceful inside. Next, they learned the song for their parents. It was a song about saying thank you to mums and dads for their love and care. The words were easy to remember. "Thank you, Mummy, thank you, Daddy, for all the things you do. We love you and we bless you. We are thankful too." The children sang and clapped along. At first, some forgot the words and laughed, but Auntie Grace told them not to worry. "We will practice every week until we get it perfect," she said. David practiced hard. He wanted to sing well on the big day. He even sang at home while helping his mum wash the plates. His mum smiled. "That song is so nice, David. You are learning well." At church, the children also practiced how to stand straight and smile while singing. Uncle Tund showed them how to bow after they finished singing. "This will make your parents proud," he said. Week after week, the children's voices got louder and clearer. They learned to sing together like a choir. David felt proud when Auntie Grace said, "You are all doing a great job. Your parents will be so happy to hear you sing." As the days passed, David felt more confident. He loved singing with his friends. He knew that their songs would bring joy to everyone on Children's Day. The next Sunday, Auntie Grace came to church carrying a big box. All the children looked at it with wide eyes. David whispered to Chitty, "What do you think is inside?" "Good morning, children," Auntie Grace said with a big smile. "Today we are going to make something very special. It's called a gratitude jar." She opened the box and brought out many empty jars. There were also colored papers, stickers, and ribbons. A gratitude jar is a jar where you keep notes of thanks, Auntie Grace explained. You will write down things you are thankful for, especially things your parents do for you. On Children's Day, you will give the jar to your parents as a gift. The children were so happy. David took a jar and looked at it closely. It was plain and clear, but he was ready to make it beautiful. First, Auntie Grace gave them colorful papers to decorate the jars. David wrapped his jar with blue paper and tied a golden ribbon around it. He stuck a sticker that said, "Thank you," on the front. "This is fun," Chitty said, showing David his jar. "I'm using red paper for mine." Next, Auntie Grace gave each child small pieces of paper. "Now, think of all the things your parents do for you. Write one on each paper. You can write as many as you want." David thought hard. He wrote, "Thank you, Mummy, for cooking my favorite food." He wrote another note, "Thank you, Daddy, for helping me with my homework." He smiled as he folded the papers and put them into his jar. Some children wrote about their mums washing their clothes. Others wrote about their dads taking them to school. Some even wrote about their parents hugging them and saying, "I love you." "If you can't write yet, you can draw pictures," Auntie Grace said kindly. By the end of the class, all the jars were full of colorful notes. The children were proud of their work. "Take your jar home carefully," Auntie Grace said. "Keep adding notes every week until the big day." David held his jar tightly as he went home. He showed it to his mum. "Look, Mummy. This is my gratitude jar. I'm writing all the things I'm thankful for." His mum's eyes filled with tears. She hugged him and said, "That is so sweet, David." "Thank you." David felt happy. He knew his jar would make his parents feel special. He couldn't wait to keep adding more notes. The next Sunday, the children came to church early again. David was excited because Auntie Grace had told them they would learn something new today. "Good morning, children," Auntie Grace said happily. "Today we will learn how to wrap gifts." She showed them many colorful wrapping papers, scissors, ribbons, and tape. The children clapped. David had never wrapped a gift before, so he was eager to try. "First, each of you will get a small box," Auntie Grace said as she and Uncle Tund gave out empty boxes. "We will practice wrapping these today." David took his box and looked at all the beautiful papers. He chose a bright blue one with stars on it. Chitty chose red paper with golden lines. "Watch me first," Auntie Grace said. She showed them how to cut the wrapping paper to the right size. Then she folded the paper neatly around the box and used tape to hold it in place. Finally, she tied a shiny ribbon around it and made a bow. "Wow," the children said. "It looked so beautiful." "Now it's your turn," Auntie Grace said. David carefully cut his paper. At first, it was hard to fold the paper neatly. His first try looked a bit messy. "Oh no," he said quietly. "Don't worry, David," Auntie Grace said kindly. "Try again. You are doing well." David tried again, this time going slowly. He folded the edges carefully and used small pieces of tape to hold everything in place. Then he tied a silver ribbon around his box. This time, it looked much better. "You did it," Chitty said, smiling at David. All around the room, the children worked hard on their gift boxes. Some needed help from the teachers, but everyone was learning. When they finished, Auntie Grace told them, "On the big day, you can bring a real gift for your parents and wrap it at home just like this. It can be something simple, like a small book, a pen, or even a card." David thought about what he could give his mum and dad. "Maybe I will draw a nice picture and put it in a box," he told Chitty. "That's a great idea," Chitty said. Before they went home, the children lined up to show their wrapped boxes. The teachers clapped for them. "Well done, everyone," Auntie Grace said. "You are learning so fast." David felt proud as he carried his wrapped box home. He showed it to his mum and dad. "Look, I learned how to wrap a gift today." His parents smiled and hugged him. "You are so clever, David. We are proud of you." David was happy. He knew Children's Day was going to be very special. Another Sunday came, and the children were excited as always. David and Chitty sat together, waiting to hear what new thing they would learn that day. "Good morning, my lovely children," Auntie Grace said with a bright smile. Today we are going to do something very creative. We will be coloring beautiful pictures. The children clapped happily. Coloring was always fun. Auntie Grace and the teachers gave out sheets of paper with different pictures on them. Some had big hearts, others had flowers, happy families, and smiling children. David got a picture of a big heart with two hands holding it. Chitty got a picture of a family standing together. Auntie Grace brought out boxes of crayons and colored pencils. Take your time and use nice, bright colors, she said. These pictures will also be part of your gifts to your parents. David opened his box of crayons. He chose red to color the big heart. He used brown for the hands and added a blue sky behind it. Chitty worked hard on his picture too. He colored the family's clothes with bright colors and drew a big yellow sun at the top. As they colored, the room was quiet and peaceful. Everyone was busy working on their art. Sometimes they looked at each other's pictures and smiled. Auntie Grace and Uncle Tund walked around to help. "Wow, David, your heart looks so bright and lovely," Auntie Grace said. David smiled proudly. "Remember," Auntie Grace said, "your parents will love these pictures because they come from your heart." When they finished, the children showed their pictures to the class. There were so many beautiful colors everywhere. Some children even wrote small notes on their pictures, like, "I love you, Mummy," or "Thank you, Daddy." David wrote, "You are the best parents in the world," at the bottom of his picture. "Wonderful work, everyone," Auntie Grace said. "We will keep these safe until the big day." David felt happy as he packed his crayons. "I can't wait for my mom and dad to see my picture," he told Chitty. "I know, right?" Chitty said. "They will be so happy." Before going home, Auntie Grace reminded them, "Next week, we will learn something very important, how to manage your feelings. This will help you stay calm and happy every day." David was curious. "I wonder what that will be like," he said to himself as he walked home. The Children's Day was getting closer, and everything was coming together beautifully. David couldn't wait to see it all happen. The next Sunday, David and his friends came to church as usual. But today felt a little different. There were no crayons, no gift boxes, and no songbooks on the tables. Auntie Grace stood in front of the children with a warm smile. "Good morning, children. Today we are going to talk about something very important, our feelings." The children looked at each other. "Feelings?" David asked. "Yes," Auntie Grace said. "We all have feelings, like happiness, sadness, anger, and fear. It's okay to have these feelings, but we must learn how to manage them well." She showed them a big chart with different faces. Some faces were smiling, some were frowning, some looked scared, and some looked angry. "Who can tell me what this face is feeling?" Auntie Grace pointed to the smiling face. "Happy!" all the children shouted. "Very good," Auntie Grace said. "And what about this one?" She pointed to the sad face. "Sad," David answered. "Yes," Auntie Grace nodded. "Sometimes we feel sad or angry, but we should learn to calm down and not hurt others when we feel that way." She taught them some easy ways to manage their feelings. "If you feel angry or upset, you can take deep breaths," she said. "Let's all try together. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, and breathe out 1, 2, 3. The children all practiced taking deep breaths. David felt calm as he did it. "Another way is to count slowly from 1 to 10, Auntie Grace added. "Or you can talk to someone you trust, like your parents or teachers." Uncle Tund told them a short story about a boy named Peter who got angry with his friend. Peter wanted to shout, but he remembered to take deep breaths first. After calming down, Peter talked nicely to his friend, and they solved the problem. "That was a wise thing to do," Auntie Grace said. "We want all of you to be like Peter, wise and calm." The children took turns sharing times when they felt sad or angry. David said, "One time my little sister broke my toy, and I was very angry. But Mummy told me to breathe and talk to her nicely." "Good job, David," Auntie Grace said. "You handled it well." Before the class ended, Auntie Grace gave each child a small paper with a happy face on it. "Keep this in your bag or pocket. When you feel upset, look at it and remember what we learned today." David put the paper in his pocket. He felt proud to learn something so useful. As they left church, David told Chitty, "I think this is the best lesson so far. It will help me every day." Chitty nodded. "Me too. I'm going to teach my little brother how to take deep breaths." The Children's Day was getting closer, and the children were almost ready. David couldn't wait to put everything together for the big day. Children's Day was just 1 week away. David and his friends were so excited. Every Sunday for many weeks, they had learned something new. Now it was time to put everything together. "Good morning, children," Auntie Grace said with a big smile. "Today we will practice everything for the last time before the big day." The children sat up straight, ready to begin. "First, let's sing our songs," Auntie Grace said. Uncle Tund played the keyboard while the children sang loudly and clearly. "Thank you, Mummy, thank you, Daddy, for all the things you do." They remembered to smile and stand tall, just as they had practiced. David looked at his friends and felt proud. They sounded wonderful. "Great job." Auntie Grace clapped. "Now, let's practice giving your parents the gratitude jars and the colored pictures." The children lined up with their jars and pictures. They practiced walking to the front of the church, bowing politely, and handing the gifts with a big smile. "Remember to say, 'Thank you for everything you do,' when you give your gift," Auntie Grace reminded them. David held his jar and picture tightly. He imagined how happy his mom and dad would be when he gave them the gifts. Next, they practiced wrapping gifts again. "Some of you will bring small presents from home to give your parents," Auntie Grace said. "Make sure you wrap them nicely." David and Chitty helped the younger children who were still learning how to fold the wrapping paper. Finally, they talked about feelings again. "If you feel shy or nervous on the big day, what will you do?" Auntie Grace asked. "Take deep breaths," the children shouted. "Very good," Auntie Grace said. "You are all ready." Before they went home, Uncle Tund told them what to wear. "Next Sunday, wear your best clothes. Come early and bring your big smiles." David was so excited he could hardly sleep that night. He thought about everything they had prepared, the songs, the jars, the pictures, and the gifts. He knew his parents would feel so loved. At school the next day, David told his classmates all about the Children's Day program. "It's going to be amazing," he said proudly. Chitty felt the same. "I can't wait to see my mum's face when she gets her gratitude jar," he said. As the week went by, David practiced the songs at home every day. His mum and dad didn't know all the surprises waiting for them. David wanted everything to be perfect. Finally, the big day was almost here. David smiled as he went to bed on Saturday night. "Tomorrow is the day," he whispered to himself. He couldn't wait to make his parents proud. The day they had all been waiting for had finally arrived, Children's Day. David woke up early, feeling excited and ready. His clothes were clean and ironed, and his shoes were shiny. He looked in the mirror and smiled. "I'm ready," he said to himself. At breakfast, David told his parents, "Today is the big day, and I'm so happy." His mum smiled and said, "I can't wait to see what you have prepared for us." David took his gratitude jar, the picture he colored, and his wrapped gift. He carefully placed them in his bag. "I'll give these to you after church," he said, holding them close. After breakfast, David and his parents went to church. When they arrived, many other families were already there. The children were wearing their best clothes, and everyone looked happy. David saw his friends, Chitty, Tolu, and Kemi, all looking excited. "It's finally here," Chitty said, showing David his gratitude jar. The church was decorated beautifully. There were flowers everywhere, and the air was filled with the sound of children's laughter. The parents sat in the audience, waiting for the program to start. Auntie Grace walked to the front of the church and smiled at the children. "Are you ready, children?" she asked. "Yes," the children shouted. The children walked up one by one, singing the songs they had practiced. David felt a little nervous at first, but then he remembered to take a deep breath. He smiled as he sang, "Thank you, Mummy, thank you, Daddy, for all the things you do." When it was David's turn, he walked up to the front with his gratitude jar and picture. His mum and dad sat in the audience, smiling at him. As he gave them his gifts, he said, "Thank you for everything you do." His mum's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, David," she said, hugging him. "This is the best gift I could ever receive." David felt so happy. He saw that his friends' parents were also smiling and holding their gifts. The children's faces were bright with joy, knowing that they had made their parents feel special. After the singing and gift-giving, the children went back to their seats. Auntie Grace stood up and thanked everyone. "Thank you, children, for your hard work. You have made today a day to remember." David looked around the church. The parents were smiling and clapping, and the children were proud of what they had done. It was a perfect day, full of love, laughter, and appreciation. As they left the church, David's mom and dad held his hands. "We are so proud of you, David," his dad said. "You made this day very special." David smiled. "Thank you, Mummy and Daddy. I'm happy you liked the gifts." When they got home, David's family sat down to a special dinner to celebrate. David felt grateful for everything he had learned during the weeks leading up to Children's Day. It was a day full of love, joy, and memories. And as he lay in bed that night, David thought about how important it was to show gratitude to the people we love. He was already looking forward to next year's Children's Day. The next day, David woke up with a big smile on his face. It was a special morning. He had learned so much and felt so happy from Children's Day. His parents were still talking about how wonderful it had been. "Good morning, David," his dad said as he walked into the kitchen. "Thank you again for the wonderful gifts you gave us yesterday. It was the best surprise." David smiled and said, "I'm happy you liked them, Daddy." After breakfast, David went outside to play with his friends. Chitty, Tolu, and Kemi were already there. They were all talking excitedly about the day before. "That was the best Children's Day ever," Chitty said, jumping up and down. "I loved the songs we sang." "I think my mum cried when I gave her the gratitude jar," Kemi said, laughing. "I'm glad we did that." David nodded. "I'm glad too. It felt so good to see my parents so happy." The weeks after Children's Day were full of happy memories for David. Every time he looked at the gratitude jar he made for his parents, he remembered how special the day had been. He kept thinking about the joy on their faces when they received the gifts and heard the songs. One Sunday, Auntie Grace stood in front of the church with a big smile. "Children, I want to say thank you to all of you for making this year's Children's Day so beautiful. You worked hard, and you made your parents proud. But most of all, you showed love and gratitude in a way that touched everyone's heart." David and the other children beamed with happiness. They had done something good, and they felt proud of what they had accomplished. They knew that Children's Day wasn't just about the gifts or the songs, it was about showing love to those who cared for them. Auntie Grace continued, "Remember, the lessons we learned do not end on Children's Day. Gratitude is something we can practice every day, with our family, our friends, and everyone around us." David thought about that. He realized that the fun and lessons from Children's Day didn't just stop. They could be used every day in small ways, saying thank you, being kind, and showing love. At home, David's parents had put the gratitude jar on a shelf in the living room. Whenever they looked at it, they would smile. It reminded them of the wonderful day they had with their son and how much he had grown. One evening, David's mum hugged him and said, "Thank you for always showing us how much you care, David. You have made us so proud." David smiled and said, "Thank you, Mummy. I learned it all from you." As the months went by, David kept showing gratitude in everything he did. He helped his little sister with her homework, he thanked his teachers for their lessons, and he always took time to say thank you to his parents for all they did for him. David knew that the best way to show love was through actions, kind actions, words, and thoughtful gestures. On his birthday, David decided to give his parents a new gratitude jar, filled with little notes about how much he appreciated them. It was his way of reminding them that he loved them, not just on special days, but every single day. When they opened it, his mum and dad smiled and hugged him. "You are the best gift we could ever ask for," his dad said. David felt proud and happy. He knew that love, gratitude, and kindness were the most important things to share with others. And as he went to bed that night, David thought about everything he had learned. He knew that the lessons from Children's Day would stay with him forever, guiding him to be a kind, loving, and thankful person. Subscribe now to enjoy more interesting and impactful stories.